And I've been doing a lot of moon salutations in the last few classes because it's just been so hot. And to be honest, I'm kind of digging them. So we're going to do them again today. I really like them, especially when it's hot, because I want to move my body, but I don't want to get all worked up and create more heat in my body. And so it's a really nice way to start. So we are going to do that again today. And I'm going to start you actually laying down on your back in a really wide, spacious Shavasana shape. So your legs wide apart, your arms really spread out, almost like a 5-point star, which is really nice to dissipate some of that excess heat in the body. And just let your whole front body be open. And just like Charlene just did, take a nice, big, deep inhale. Pause at the top of your inhale breath and really sigh it out and let it go. Let the day go. Let all that heat go. And do 2 more like that. Nice, big inhale into your belly. Pause at the top and just let it slowly ease out of your body. And one last one like that. And then just take a moment to begin to tune into the vibrational quality of the earth beneath you. It's very subtle, but you can tune into that and begin to notice. And as soon as we're able to do that, it allows us to become grounded in our physical body. As you tune into the breath and the vibration of earth below you, and that support that you are feeling right now, as you just let go here. And then begin to intentionally deepen your breath, drawing the breath all the way down to the low belly and letting the low belly expand. And as you exhale, slowly releasing all that needs to be released and let go of. The thoughts, the frenetic energy, the heat, all those things that we can release right now and not think about for the next 75 minutes. And then on your next inhale breath, slowly draw your heels towards your sit bones as you bend your knees. And bring your soles of your feet to the mat. And bring your feet wide on your mat so that they are mat width apart. And we're just going to, with your breath, with your exhale breath, let your knees drop over to one side. And use your inhale breath to come back to center and exhale to go to the other side. So keep your breath nice and slow. And just let the breath create the opening and the movement in your body. Without forcing, just allowing it. As we slowly begin to open the body. So as you continue with that, I'm going to give you a quote that I don't remember where it came from, but I heard it this week and it really stuck with me. And if I can remember it, because I didn't write it down. If your practice is not creating more space in your heart, then you're doing it wrong. If your practices are not creating more space in your heart center, then you are doing it wrong. So what that really means to me, and it might mean something different to you, is that our physical practice that we do, our asana practice, is not about our physical body. It's about creating more compassion and kindness, and that starts with ourselves. Being able to be more kind and compassionate with our own self, so that we can be more kind and compassionate with all of those out in the world around us. So as you come back to center when you're ready, You can draw your knees in towards your chest. And maybe you rock from side to side and just get that sense of the earth beneath you on your back body as you do this. And when you're ready, roll to your side and press your way up to a seat and make your way onto hands and knees. And we'll just start with a few rounds of cat-cow. And those of you who have been doing the moon salutations with me, you know we're going to be using these throughout our practice a few times. So just starting by a gentle opening of the heart as you inhale, excuse me, and exhale, drawing the belly in and opening up the back body as you let your head drop. And just moving with your breath. Opening the heart, and then opening the upper back and the back body as you drop the head and curl the belly in. Let's do one more round into cow, and then use your exhale to make your way into child's pose. And if you want, you can bring your palms together in prayer pose and bend at the elbows. And bring a little more opening into the shoulders. If you're not ready for that yet, just leave your hands down on the mat. Use your next inhale to rise up into cow again, curling your toes under as you inhale, and using your exhale to find downward facing dog. Take a moment to walk your dog out a little bit. Find all of those little sticky places. It could be your calves or your arches or your hamstrings, or maybe it's your shoulders or your side body. And try to bring breath to those spaces, wherever that is for you today in this moment. Take one more nice big inhale to lift the hips up off the waist. And as you exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat, coming into your forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine as the heart lifts. And exhale, draw the belly in as you fold. Press into the earth and rise up. Circle your arms wide and high. Reach up to the sky. And draw into your heart center. So take a moment to reground through your feet. Through those old feet that we all have, except for Mitch. And Claudia. This section right here. The rest of us. So we're going to do a few moon salutations. Again, just getting the body moving slowly. So inhaling, reaching to the sky, and invite a little back bend. As you exhale, draw your hands to your forehead. Stay here for an inhale as we invite those qualities of the cooling moon, and exhale to fold forward. Inhale to lift the heart, lengthen the spine, and exhale, stepping the right foot to the back of your mat into a lunge. Take an inhale here. Hands can be on blocks or fingertips. Exhale, drop the knee. And as we inhale, draw the fingertips back, reaching out behind you as you lift your heart. And as we exhale, we fold over that front leg. Next inhale, we do the same thing with option to reach the arms, circle the arms up to the sky, and invite a little back bend as we release some heat. Stay for another full round of breath here. And as we exhale, drawing the hands to the forehead once again and imagining those qualities of the cooling of the moon. And bring hands down, lifting the back knee. We step back into downward facing dog. Take an inhale here, and as we exhale, we drop both knees into cow pose. Cow pose to inhale. Exhale into child's pose. Option to bend at the elbows again. And then we bring the forearms down to the floor, staying as low to that cool earth as you can. We slink, slide, and glide into Sphinx pose. Again, opening the heart center, tops of the feet are pressed down, pubic bone is ground down, shoulders are back. Take one more inhale here, and then as we exhale, we're going to slide the hands forward, palms together into arrow pose. Forehead can touch down. Take a nice inhale into the belly. Feel the earth beneath your belly as you inhale. And as you exhale, begin to slide your hands back under your shoulders, rise up into cobra. Exhale, come down. Take an inhale, exhale into child's pose. The inhale breath, we rise into cow. And exhale, cat. Inhale, cow again. Exhale, down dog. Take 3 breaths in your down dog. And I offered this the first time we did moon salutations. If you want to step your feet a little closer and create a little shorter V shape with your body, and imagine your body as a snow-capped mountain. It's nice and cool. You can take that. It's a little less heating than traditional down dog. And then on your next inhale, let's float the right foot up to the sky in 3-legged dog. And as you exhale, we're going to step that foot between your hands, coming into lunge on your second side. Taking an inhale as you draw your heart forward, and the exhale, the knee drops. Draw the hands back as you inhale, reach the heart up to the sky, fingertips towards that cool earth. Exhale, fold over that front leg. Release your head. Next inhale, we do the same thing with option to circle the arms up to the sky. Inviting a back bend, staying here for a breath. And the exhale breath comes to the forehead. Take another inhale, and the exhale, hands come down to the mat. We lift the back knee and step forward. Inhale to lift the heart and lengthen. Exhale, we bow, press into the earth and circle wide, rise high. Press your palms together, invite a back bend, and exhale, hands to the forehead. Pause here, take an inhale, and exhale, release the hands. So I'm going to do one more round like that, and then we'll move into a little, I'm already sweating from moon salutations, so I don't know what's going to happen when we do sun salutations. Inhale, reach up to the sky, invite your back bend. Exhale, hands to the forehead. That cooling sensation, vision of the moon at the forehead. Take another inhale. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lift that heart center, expand with the breath. Exhale, left foot steps to the back of the mat. Drop the back knee. Inhale, draw the fingertips back, open the heart, lift the heart. Exhale, fold over the knee. Same thing, inhale, lift the heart, draw the hands back. Option to circle the arms up to the sky and invite your back bend. Stay for another inhale. Use the exhale to draw hands to the forehead. Take an inhale here. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, drop your knees. Inhale into cow. Exhale, child's pose. Bend the elbows if you wish. Bring the forearms back down and slide close to that cool earth. Keep as low as you can as you come into Sphinx pose. Opening the heart center, expanding with the breath, letting the breath pour in for one more inhale. And as you exhale, slide your hands, reach them forward, bring your palms together in arrow pose. Forehead can touch down. Breathe into the belly here as you inhale. As you exhale, slide the hands back under your shoulders, rise up, cobra. Exhale, release the forehead down. Take an inhale. Exhale back, child's pose. Option to bend the elbows, palms together. Inhale, release the hands down, rise up to cow. Exhale, down dog. Again, option to shorten your stance into that inverted V like a snow-capped mountain, or keep your traditional dog stance. 2 more breaths here. Your next inhale, left leg floats to the sky, 3-legged dog. The exhale, we step it up between the hands. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Exhale, drop the back knee. Next inhale, draw the fingertips back, point them to the earth, lift your heart. Exhale, fold over your front knee. Inhale, same thing, draw the fingertips back, lift your heart, option to circle up to the sky. Stay for another inhale, and the exhale, the moon energy to the forehead. Stay here for an inhale. Exhale, hands come down, and we step forward into our Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Awareness to your heart center as breath pours in. Exhale, bow. Inhale, circle wide, rise high. And draw into your heart center. And release. So for this next sequence that we're going to go through, we're going to use Satali breath in our crescent lunge. So does everybody remember that's the cooling breath where we curl our tongue either this way or bring the tongue, the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth so that you're drawing air in like your straw is going this way. Or you can even just go, can I make some more funny faces at you? So whichever, some people can't curl their tongue. This is the traditional way, is curling your tongue this way, but some people can't do that, and so then you would do one of the other 2 options. I don't know if this whole group can do it or not, so that's why I made so many funny faces at you. Yeah, now I get to laugh at you. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lift and lengthen, awareness to your heart center. And as we exhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Stay high on your toes, and we rise up into our crescent lunge, reaching arms up to the sky. You can bring your palms together, or you can keep them wide if that's more appropriate for your shoulders. So just find your balance, and if you feel off balance today, which I know I often do, you can bring your feet wider apart on your mat, which gives you a little bit more space. So finding your hand position, we're going to do 3 rounds of Satali breath here. So your inhale, and then close the mouth to exhale through the nose. Inhale. And close to exhale. 1 more round, and begin to feel that cooling sensation in the mouth and maybe even in the head. And then take 1 last inhale. And as we exhale, draw your hands to your heart center this time. Pause here. Take 1 more inhale, and we're going to shift forward into Warrior 3. And you might step that back foot forward a little bit, or just move straight into your Warrior 3 position. Pressing your palms together at your heart center. Taking 1 more breath here. Our transition now is going to be into eagle pose. So that floating leg, your right leg, is going to come and cross over your standing leg. So your option, I'm having really bad balance today. You can keep your hands pressed at heart center, or bring right arm under left and wrap around in your variation of eagle pose. And even though it might feel like you're compressing your chest here as we open the back body and our eagle arms, try to lift your heart center. Take 1 more inhale, and then as we exhale, keeping your arm position, we're going to extend that leg back into Warrior 3. Challenging our balance. For 1 more breath, and then bend your standing leg. Softly bring the back foot down into your crescent lunge. Pivot into warrior two with your feet. And then release your arms. Find your warrior two. Take a breath or two and just soften your shoulders. Find some ease in the posture. So we're not efforting so much in this heat. And inhale into peaceful warrior. I've talked about this lots, but this pitta, this excess fire and water and steam can be released through side body openers here. Take one more inhale as we exhale, moving into side angle on the same side. So forearm to the knee, back arm reaches overhead. Rotate the right side ribs up to the sky. Get really long through that right side body. And then we're going to inhale up into peaceful warrior again. And one more time into side angle. Maybe your fingertips come down to a block or to the mat, or maybe you keep forearm to the knee. Inhale up one more time, peaceful warrior. And I forgot to tell you, have your blocks at the top of your mat. We're going to shift into half moon pose. So hand to your block or to your mat ahead of that standing foot. And you might start with hand just on your hip, or you might open completely up. And let this pose be spacious. Allow that heat to dissipate from the body. Think of that cool moon, how it suspends, and send energy out from your heart center, out through your hands and through that floating leg. Take one more inhale, allow the breath to fill the heart. And as we exhale, bend the knee, bring that back foot down, bring both hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Let's drop the knees and come into cow pose. Exhale, cat. One more cow. And as we exhale, either child's pose or down dog, your choice. Take a few breaths here. We don't want to create too much heat in the body, so take a little break in child's pose, but stay connected to your breath, even though you're in a resting pose. Connected to that ujjayi breath, to slow the breath down and control the breath. Take one more breath here. And use your next inhale to rise up into cow. Curl your toes under, exhale, down dog. Your next inhale, come forward to plank pose. And now how you lower down is up to you. If you want to drop your knees and lower down like we did for our moon salutations, go ahead and do that. Or lower through chaturanga, but we want to all come down onto our bellies. Where you pause along the way is up to you. So we'll take one breath to inhale into our regular cobra as you rise up in your cobra. And then exhale, come back down. Bring your arms wide, become spacious, fingertips on the mat, elbows up to the sky, slightly bent. And inhale, rise up into your cobra here again. Exhale, come down. Reach your arms straight out in front of you, palms down. Now, I'm not going to do this with you because I squash my microphone when I do this. But we're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg with arms reaching out in front of you. So let's bring awareness to the right arm and the left leg. And as you inhale, become really long. And as you exhale, press up. Lift arm, leg, chest, gaze. Stay for an inhale. Feel your belly press into the earth. Exhale, release down. Let your forehead come down, arm and leg come down. Let's do second side. Lengthen on your inhale, left arm, right leg. Use your exhale to press up. Stay here for the inhale. Use your exhale to release back down. One more time to each side. Inhale to lengthen. The exhale breath, we press up. Stay for an inhale. And the exhale, we release. Last side. Lengthen on the inhale. Create as much space as you can. Use your exhale to press up. Stay for an inhale. Release down on the exhale. Stack your hands under your forehead or turn your head to one side or the other. Breathe into your belly. Imagine that cool, moist earth beneath you, even though you're on your mat. And feel your belly press into the earth, and as it does so, feel it fill out your lower back. If you've got your head turned to one side, you can turn the other direction. And as you breathe, think of your inhale as just pouring into your body, filling your heart center, expanding your heart center. And as you exhale, releasing all that you need to release. Let's have 3 more breaths here on the belly. When you're ready, gently slide your hands under your shoulders and press up and back, child's pose. If you need a few more breaths on your belly, stay on your belly. But we'll all meet in child's pose for a breath or 2. Still bringing awareness to the back body as you inhale and exhale here, and allowing your heart to be open to the earth beneath you. On your next inhale, find your way up into cow pose, and exhale into downward facing dog. Again, option for that inverted V of a snow-capped mountain of shortening your stance, or a traditional down dog. Take one more breath in your downward facing dog, and use your exhale breath to step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Let the inhale breath fill your heart center and float the heart up. And as you exhale, float it back down, bow to the earth, and inhale, rise, circle wide, reach up to the sky, and draw into your heart. Pause here with your hands at heart center, taking a few breaths. Maybe eyes closed or maybe eyes open, gazing at the horizon out in front of you. Just thankful for each breath that pours into your heart center, allowing you to expand with every breath. And taking a moment for having kindness and compassion and love for all these wonderful things your body is able to do today. One more breath here. And then you can release your hands. Let's do our second side. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, step the left foot to the back of your mat, staying high on your toes. And if you need to widen your stance for a little bit better balance, go ahead and do that. And when you're ready, press into both feet evenly, rise up into your crescent lunge. Again, palms can come together, fingertips can come together, or you can have your arms wide to allow more space for your shoulders. So we're going to do 3 rounds of Satali breath here again. So your next inhale, curl the tongue, close the mouth to exhale. Inhaling. Feel the cooling sensation. Exhale to through the nose. One more time. And exhale through the nose. Let's take one more through the tongue. And exhale, draw the hands to the heart center. Take a moment to just mentally prepare to shift forward into our eagle as the left leg is going to come over the right. So begin by shifting, leaning forward, and maybe you touch your foot a time or two, or 3 or 4. Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, thank you. Warrior 3, everybody was looking at me weird. I was wondering, what did I say wrong? So warrior 3, extending through that back leg as you press into the heart center. Take one more breath here. And then shifting into your eagle. Again, option to keep your hands at heart center or bring left arm under right. Find your breath. Find your focus. Find your breath in your heart center as you lift your heart a little bit, even in this pose. And as you take one more inhale, we're going to send that left leg back into warrior 3, keeping this arm position, and I'm going to fall over and make you all fall over. Take one more breath, and then as you exhale, bend that standing leg. Bring the foot down, open for warrior 2, and release your arms. Widen your stance a little bit, Charlene. Yeah, maybe even a little bit more. There you go. So again, soften. See where you can soften. Let go. Maybe soften through your eyes. Soften your gaze as you look forward over your front fingers. And then use your next inhale breath to move into peaceful warrior. So opening that right side body as you lift the front arm, your right arm. Inhale to lengthen from hip to fingertips. And the exhale will move into side angle. So you can start with forearm on the knee or the the thigh. And if your shoulder is able, extend that left arm over and really extend through that whole left side body. Our next inhale, we're moving back into peaceful warrior, creating space to dissipate heat through the liver on that right side, where pitta tends to reside. Exhale into side angle and choose if you want to go deeper this time, or if you want to stay with your forearm on the knee. Take one more breath, creating lots of space in that side body. And then we'll inhale up to peaceful warrior one more time. And this time as we exhale, we're moving into half moon pose. So that right hand is going to come down either to your mat or to your block. And we shift forward. You might keep the left hand on your hip. You might extend it up to the sky. But try to visualize those qualities of the moon, of cooling, and send that cooling energy from your heart center out through your arms to your fingertips, and through that floating leg as you ground through your right leg for one more breath. And then bending that standing leg, bring the back foot down. Hands come down, step it back. Downward facing dog. Option to come into child's pose or stay in down dog for a couple of breaths. Being mindful so you're not overheating your body in our practice and our hot yoga practice today. Take one more breath here wherever you're at. And then we'll meet in down dog. If you need to skip this out and stay in child's pose, that's okay too. But if you want to come along for the ride, we're going to repeat the back bends that we just did, or repeat some back bends. Find downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. And then exhale, come all the way down, however you wish to come down. And let's use our first cobra to just rise up into a nice little easy cobra with our inhale breath. And exhale, come down. This time we're going to release our hands alongside our hips, palms facing your thighs or your hips. Let's inhale and rise up and come up into Salabhasana. Hands float up, maybe your legs float up. If this feels like too much today in this heat, let your legs come down and just float your arms up. And stay for 2 more breaths here, feeling the belly compression onto the earth, and imagine that earth as being nice and cool. Take 1 more, and exhale it back down. And again, you can stack your hands under your forehead or turn your head one side or the other. We're going to take a little breathing break here, breathing into the belly. Feel your belly press into the earth. Nice deep ujjayi inhales, and nice slow ujjayi exhales. Turn your head to the other side if you have your head turned to the side. Take a few more breaths here. And if you want to bend your knees and windshield washer your knees from side to side, that always feels good for me. I'm sure it feels good for you guys too. And when you're ready, let your feet come on down. Get your hands under your shoulders. Press up and back into child's pose on an exhale. Let's inhale up into cow pose. Open that heart center. Let the breath pour in. Curl your toes under, down dog. On your next inhale, float the right leg to the sky in 3-legged dog. As you exhale, step that foot between your hands. Use your right hand to help it get up there if you need to. And drop your back knee, coming into a lunge. So we're going to play a little bit with our lunge. We'll just start with our basic low lunge, inhaling up to the sky. We've done these lunges a couple of times already. Take a couple breaths here. And then exhale, hands through heart center. You can release your right hand to your knee and then shift your weight forward a little bit. We're going to give you the option of bending that back leg. And so if you shift your weight forward a little bit so that you're not on your kneecap, so that you're actually kind of on the top of your knee or the bottom of your thigh, if that makes sense. If you're on your kneecap, just shift forward a little bit. So you might stay here with fingertips on the floor. You might stay here, or you might reach your left hand back towards your left foot. Where is your foot? Body perception. So you might grab your ankle, you might grab your shin, or you might just reach back with your palm open and not even touch. But you'll feel a lot of opening in here, I'm sure, because I always do, and I can see in your faces that you are too. I'm going to give you one more option. Nobody in this room has to take this option. But if you've got a hold of your foot, you might play with bringing your other hand back. And if that's not, yeah, awesome. You can just do this. Lift your heart. You're feeling lots. Probably your hamstring might be cramping. Take one more breath and use your exhale to release down. Beautiful. Curl your back toe under. Step back. Downward facing dog. If you need a child's pose instead of a down dog, take that. If you need a flow to flush that out before we do our second side, take that. You get to choose. And we will all meet back in downward facing dog to even things out and do our second side.
My mat is so sticky.
I know, mine is really sticky too. I keep sticking to it. All right, once we're all back into downward facing dog, let's float our left leg to the sky in 3-legged dog. And as we exhale, step it up between the hands, coming into our lunge. Drop your back knee, and let's start with just reaching to the sky. So if we were using walls, we would do King Arthur, but since we don't have walls, we're using our arms and our hands. Take one more breath here. And then as we exhale, hands come to your front knee or even down to your blocks or to your mat, and maybe cause a little bit more of a shift so that you can come above your kneecap. And then see what this side feels like. You might grab your foot, your ankle, your calf. You might just open your palm to open your heart center and reach back. Some of you, oh, my hamstring's cramping. Some of you might do both arms or reach both arms back without touching your foot. Either way, think of lifting your heart and expanding your heart center and breath pouring in for one more breath. And then without slingshotting your foot down, release hands down, release foot down softly. Step back, downward facing dog. Option to take child's pose or stay in down dog, or option to flow. So I'm going to offer you either cobra or upward facing dog. Even if you come all the way down to your belly, you might press into upward facing dog, or just a little cobra. Let's all take child's pose if you're not there. Taking a few breaths. And then from your child's pose, we're going to slink, slide, glide, however you want to get there, onto your belly. Come into Sphinx. And then we're going to release all the way down and prepare for bow pose. So you've got those nice open hip flexors now. So reach your hands back, bend your knees. Even if they don't touch, you might grab ankles, you might grab shins, you might grab feet. Or you might just reach your hands back and do another salabhasana. One won't reach, and that's okay. You can just have both hands reaching back without actually touching. But lift your heart, maybe lift your thighs if that's available to you, and if it's not, that's okay too. Your back muscles are working hard and your heart is open. Take one more breath here. And use your exhale to slowly release it down. Again, breathing into the belly, stacking hands or turning head to one side or the other. Or you can even come into arrow pose. That can feel really nice as you press your hands together, reaching them long, forehead down. It can feel very expansive and lengthening. But whichever position you are in, breathe into the belly. Allowing that breath to just pour into the heart center. As you feel that breath pour into the heart center and expand your heart center, think about where you can expand in your compassion, in your kindness, and extending loving, and maybe it's to yourself. Take one more breath here. And when you're ready, find your way into child's pose. Child's pose like your favorite pose today. Whenever you're ready, we're going to come up into a seat. I hope you guys aren't getting sick of this, but for some reason, I'm just really loving this little seated sequence. We're going to do it again. So starting with deer pose, I've got my right knee in front of me, left knee behind me. So you're kind of making like a 90-degree angle with your two thighs, basically. What's that? So bend your front knee. Yeah. So bend. Yeah, you can. If it's not available, yeah, there you got it. You got it. You're trying to make it even more difficult. That's a whole other pose. So I gave you guys this option last time. I'll give it to you again. You can fold forward right over that knee. I really like the openness in the side body, so I like to walk it over to the right side, wherever it feels comfortable for you. And then come down, and you might stack your fist. You might bring your forehead all the way down. And again, it doesn't matter if you're folded right over that front knee or if you walk it over to the right. Play with the different places where you can fold and bring some openness into that left side body. So that's where you should be feeling opening, through the left hip flexor, side body, somewhere in there. You might even reach your arms long. And try to keep your left side body as parallel to the earth as your right, so that you're not rolling open with your heart center. So that your shoulders, like, rather than being like this, of being more equal from right to left with your shoulders, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's it, Mitch. Just going to take a couple more breaths here. Breathe into anywhere where you feel like you need some space. Taking one more full inhale and full exhale. And then slowly beginning to make your way back upright. Keeping this leg position, we're just going to bring the back leg forward and extend it straight. And if you need to adjust that other leg a little bit so that the foot comes inside the thigh, do so. So we've been doing, actually maybe we'll do both today. We're going to do our forward fold over that front leg, and then we'll do the revolved version as well, because that's really nice for the side body. So we lift up nice and long, facing that straight leg, flexing the toes, placing something under your knee if you need to, and begin to lift your heart up and over that front leg. Taking your time, you can close your eyes and try not to reach with your head. Try to keep your neck in the same plane as your spine. So as your heart is able to move closer to your knee, your head will go along with it, not before it, not ahead of it. And just let the pose unfold. Don't worry about how deep you're going. Just pay attention to the sensations. Taking one more full breath here. And then using your next inhale to slowly, taking your time coming up, especially if that felt intense for you, take even longer to come up. Keep your legs where you are, same side. We're going to shift our torso towards the bent leg now. Extend your left arm alongside the inside of your left leg, palm facing up. So now we're going to rotate and turn towards the right side. And you can have your right hand on your right hip and begin to turn your right ribs towards the back wall. Maybe look that direction or even look up. Now some of you might decide, oh, this feels pretty good. I want to invite a little bit more. You can reach that right hand up to the sky. And you might even begin to arch it over as though you were going to reach towards your toes. And if that feels like too much, come back to the first variation of hand on the hip. So what we're doing here is we're really opening through that right side body and still trying to keep the left side body long, so we're not crunching into that left side body, keeping it long as we open through that right. And you might, if you've got tight hips, you might even be feeling this in your right hip as well, maybe. Take one more breath in this Parvrita Janu Sirsasana, or revolved head to knee pose. And then slowly, starting with that top arm, come back up, rotate to the front, and extend both legs out in front of you. Shake it out a little bit. And then let's come into deer pose on your second side. So now the right leg is behind, the left leg is in front. So left knee is pointing basically to the top of the mat with the foot against the right thigh, which is kind of out behind me. Does that make sense? Everybody got it? I can't see your knees, Mitch, so I don't know what's happening. Look at Marilyn and Claudia. I think they've got the right side going. You looked confused, but I couldn't see your legs. So
I was doing the same side.
you just really want to get that side open. So again, if you remember, you can turn towards that bent knee and fold right over that knee, or you can walk it a little further over to the left before you fold forward. And just notice where the sensations are and how you might want to shift where you're folding and how you're folding and what direction and what's going on. And just really look for that opening in the side body. Maybe a little bit through the kind of the back of the pelvis. And just breathe into wherever you're feeling the sensation, wherever you feel like you need a little more space. You have 2 more breaths here in your deer pose. And then you can use your next inhale breath to slowly walk it up. And when you come upright, that back leg's going to swing forward and adjust however you need to so you're not off your mat. And we'll start with the forward fold over that straight leg. So orienting your body towards that straight leg, flexing those front toes, putting something under your knee if you need to. Lengthen up on an inhale nice and tall, and think about lifting up and over that front thigh. And then just let your breath dictate how the pose unfolds. And remember, you're not grasping or gripping or forcing, and try not to reach with your head or your chin. Let your heart be the thing that is reaching towards the earth. Breathe into the tight spaces, wherever that is for you. It will be different for everybody. We've got 2 more breaths here. One more breath. And then use your next inhale to begin to walk it up. Now we're going to stay in this position to do the revolved. If you need to, I have a really stiff left knee. If you need to straighten that knee to bring it back in before we moved into that variation, go ahead and do what you need to for your body. So now we're turning our torso towards the bent leg, extending right arm along the inside of that straight leg. And then we're rotating the ribs, those left side ribs are rotating up to the sky towards the back wall. You can have your hand on your ribs or your hip. Hand on your ribs kind of helps you feel where your ribs are going. And then you can choose to reach up or arc it towards the front of the room, towards your toes. Breathe into this, maybe looking up slightly, maybe looking towards the back wall slightly so you're not cranking your neck. Let's take 2 more breaths in this variation and just really feel into that side body opening as you breathe here. So we're opening the side body and rotating at the same time for one last breath. And then slowly, mindfully, especially if that was intense for you, take your time, coming up and then extending that leg once you're all the way up. Pause here in staff pose or dandasana, shake it out a little bit, and we're going to do a forward fold over both legs just to even out the pelvis and bring everything into balance. So inhaling nice and tall and straight again is same action as though we're lifting the belly up and over those thighs as we hinge at the hips. Walk your hands alongside wherever you need the support. And again, don't try to reach with your chin, try to reach with your heart. Take one more breath here. And then you can slowly begin to walk it up. We're going to bring the soles of both feet together into Baddha Konasana. And if you need something under your knees or you need your hands behind you, but lift your heart. Take a nice breath and let your breath just pour into the heart center. I've said this before in previous classes, but this is a really good pose for opening the channels of Pitta, which is that elements of summer, of fire and water that can cause us to be overheated. The cows that sound like elephants. Take one more breath here. And then you can use your hands to draw your knees up if you wish, nice and gently. Soles of the feet to the mat. And we're going to lie down on our backs and do a round of bridge pose. So set yourself up for bridge so your head's not off your mat. Feet hip width, heels towards your sit bones. And hands, different hand variations. You can bend the elbows so that your fingertips point to the sky and press your elbows into the sky, or press your palms down with arms straight as you inhale and lift the hips, moving into your bridge pose. And you always have that option to intertwine your fingers underneath your bum and press the forearms and the fists down into the mat. We're going to stay for a few breaths, and I'm going to let you explore a couple of options. So on this next breath, see if you can rise up onto your toes, onto the ball of your feet, and see how that feels and how that changes the pose. And then slowly with an exhale, lower your heels. And then on your next inhale, press into your heels, lift your toes. And see how that changes how the pose feels for you. And with an exhale, slowly lower your toes. Stay one more breath in your bridge pose, our last heart-opening pose. And let your exhale breath bring you back down to the earth, nice and slow. And then just pause here. Feel all the sensations as your pelvis releases to the earth. And now we're going to reach the soles of the feet up to the sky. If you need a little extra support, you can put your hands underneath your hips to just raise your hips a little bit. We're not going to stay really long. If you really want to block under your hips, you can roll the block under your hips. If somebody really is feeling like you're digging shoulder stand right now and you want to take a shoulder stand, you can go ahead. Otherwise, just keep feet to the sky. Shoulder stand is a nice cooling inversion, and just the feet up to the sky is a softer version of that without creating any more effort. So we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. And those of you in shoulder stand, if you need to come out before your 5 breaths, that's okay. Do what feels right for you. And notice what you feel at your heart center in either of these variations of the pose as more blood comes to your upper body. Notice what you're feeling. If you feel expansive and spacious, or if you feel constricted. And if you took shoulder stand and you want to move into plow pose before you come out, you can go ahead and do that now. Those of you with your feet up can just stay for another breath or two. And when everybody's ready, we'll all meet on your back with knees bent. Soles of the feet on the mat. And if you're really feeling like you would love one more back bend heart opener, you can move into fish pose. And if you're not sure what that is and you think you want to do it, but you're not sure, I can do a demo if you want to sit up enough to see it. And otherwise, you can just remain with feet bent. So those of you that are looking, fish pose is basically bringing your hands under your hips again. Weight onto your elbows and forearms like you're laying on the beach looking out at the water. And then point your toes, lift your heart, invite that back bend and begin to let the head drop back. And you're going to slide back just a little bit. And your head might touch the ground or it might not, but the heart keeps lifting. Taking one more breath, and then slowly release your arms out from underneath you, come down. Extend your legs straight for a breath or two, mini Shavasana. We have one more thing we're going to do before you go into your full Shavasana, and that's just a little windshield washer of your knees to release any tension in your back. So you can bring your feet hip width or bring them wide on your mat, again like we did at the beginning of class, whichever variation you'd like to take. And we're not going to stay on one side or the other. We're just slowly going to exhale from one side to the other, using the inhale to come back to center. And just release any tension, any little bit of tension you might still feel in your side body, in your hips. And you can actually extend your arms straight out to the side and just notice the openness in your heart center, the space you created. And whenever you feel ready, we're going to move into Shavasana. Taking your time, and I would suggest a nice wide-legged, wide-armed Shavasana like we did in the beginning that just helps to dissipate any more heat that might be remaining in the body. And as you settle, just take a moment to once again welcome that vision, that imagination of the cool, moist earth beneath you, supporting you. As you allow your upper body to be open, your heart to be open to the sky, to the cooling of the evening air. And allow each and every cell to absorb the energy you created and the dissipation of heat, of excess heat from each cell. Very slowly begin to come back to your body, deepening the breath. And by deepening the breath, becoming grounded in your body once again. Inviting gentle movements when you're ready. Eventually finding fetal position and a seat. As you find your way to a seat, take a moment to once again bring your awareness to the vibration of the earth beneath you, the frequency of vibration beneath you. And if you can't bring your awareness to that, that's okay. Just imagine the frequency and the vibration of Earth's gravitational force, even if you can't feel it. And as you feel that connection to Earth, allow your heart center to lift a little bit higher as breath pours in to expand the heart. And as we expand our heart, we expand our capacity for compassion, for kindness, for love. Sometimes I like to imagine the heart of the Grinch as it grows 3 times as big. With each inhale, imagine your heart growing. And as you exhale, allow yourself to feel grounded once again. And 2 more breaths like that. Imagine your heart expanding, your heart center expanding, your capacity for love, for kindness, for compassion expanding. One more breath like that. And then bring your right palm to stack over your heart center, your left palm to stack over top of that. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. And we'll inhale to Om 3 times tonight to feel that vibration. Bring your palms together in prayer. Eyes cast to the earth, let your eyes flutter open. And then bring your awareness back into the space around you. Namaste, 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 namaste. There you are. Namaste. You're very